Greetings, Richard Fulmer here. Welcome to another edition of Richard's Rock Rambles. So today we're going to have a look at another two concert DVDs from probably my favorite rock band of all time, that being Led Zeppelin. The one goes all the way back to 1973, a concert in Madison Square Gardens. I think they played there for 3 nights, and this concert film was released in 1976. So the one I'm talking about is The Song Remains the Same. That's the cover there. There's the back cover with a couple of shots of the guys live. Unfortunately, this is the 2-disc special edition, and unfortunately there is no booklet inside, which would have been nice, seeing as it's a special edition to, tell you a bit more about what happened on the nights and so on. In any case, this is a great concert. It's not just a straight concert. Each band member has his own fantasy sequence, which for me, I could have done without. I mean, it's okay for what it is, but I would have preferred just a straight concert right through, with maybe a couple more tracks added on. This bonus disc does include a few tracks that weren't on the original movie, so that was quite good to get. So the tracks featured on the original movie were Rock and Roll, which is the track they usually started out their concerts with. Really up-tempo rock number. Going into Black Dog, there's Dazed and Confused, that long track with Jimmy doing his guitar with a bow thing, which was quite cool. No Quarter with John Paul Jones on the keyboards. The Song Remains the Same. The Rain Song, Since I've Been Loving You, that great blues, slow blues number, which is one of their best tracks, I think. Stairway to Heaven, which of course everybody knows, and it's been done to death. Moby Dick, the drum solo from John Bonham, great version on here. Heartbreaker and Whole Lotta Love, the other big hit. So on this bonus disc, this edition, you get 2 never-before-released performances of Celebration Day and Over the Hills and Far Away, plus Misty Mountain Hop and The Ocean, vintage TV footage, and there's a BBC interview with Robert Plant, and a 1973 Tampa News report. So there's a couple of additions on this version which you didn't get on the original, which is quite cool. And they've cleaned up the picture and the sound a bit, which is great. When this movie came out back in 76, didn't get a great reception, and I don't think the band were that happy with the way it came out. It was quite a long, protracted thing to get it out, and there was a different producer and what have you. As I said, the fantasy sequences are okay. Robert Plant has one. Jimmy Page is a very strange one where he goes up the mountain and he sort of going back through time, back to his birth. There's John Paul Jones is a weird one. The best one for me is the one of John Bonham, where it's just basically him at home with his wife down on the farm, and there's quite a cool shot with him and a very young Jason Bonham teaching his son on the drums, which I think is very cool, and it's great to see that sort of snapshot of that time. So that's the one that works for me. The others I could have done without. There's right in the beginning. There's also a sequence with Peter Grant being a gangster, going up, shooting up these strange dudes in this house. And that's right in the beginning of the movie. So that's The Song Remains the Same. It became a kind of a classic. I know they used to show them here at the midnight movies. It's worth checking out. The concerts, the songs in the concert are great. I mean, 73, I think Zeppelin were probably at their peak. And you can see here the guys are just firing on all cylinders. So that was that one. And this reissue came out 2007. So that's The Song Remains the Same. Then we move on to, for me, the holy grail of Zeppelin DVDs. This one is just called Led Zeppelin. Great cover there. There's all the songs at the back. When this came out, it was like, hallelujah, finally there's some decent footage of Led Zeppelin, one of the greatest rock bands of all time,
And subsequent to this, prior to this, we only had The Song Remains the Same. So this was music produced by Jimmy Page, and sound engineered by Kevin Shirley, who, as you know, is a great producer. He does a lot of work with Iron Maiden, Joe Bonamassa, and countless others. And he's done a really great job with this DVD. The sound on here is amazing, considering that some of this goes all the way back to 1970. Let me just open it up for you. There's the two DVDs. And there's also quite a cool booklet to go with it. Photographs of the band. This is what people wanted to see, I think. Jimmy and old John Bonham there, and Robert Plant and John Paul Jones. There's another cool shot of Robert Plant. So you get the whole shebang with this package. Let me just tell you what tracks are on what disc. So on the first disc, you get Live at the Royal Albert Hall 1970. So this was basically after their first, and I think their second album. And if not just their first, because I don't see anything here from the second. Yes, first and second. These guys were so hungry when they first started out. You can see it in that concert. They're just firing. Bonham is an absolute monster on the drums. Page is amazing. Plant's voice is just so powerful. And John Paul Jones on the bass is amazing. He's one of the bassists in rock that doesn't get enough credit, I think. Especially on Dazed and Confused, when they start the fast piece of that track and he locks in with John Bonham on the drums. Amazing. So you got We're Gonna Groove, I Can't Quit You Babe, Dazed and Confused, White Summer, What Is and What Should Never Be, How Many More Times, Moby Dick, Whole Lot of Love, Communication Breakdown, Come On Everybody, Something Else, and Bring It On Home. So you get the whole concert. It's amazing. I mean, the audience are lapping it up and they're just firing on all cylinders. Great concert. There are a couple of extras on that first disc. It's Communication Breakdown promo, Denmark's radio, show they did in Denmark. There's a super show and a French TV show as well where they do one or two tracks. So Robert Plant, vocals and harmonica, Jimmy Page, electric and acoustic guitars, John Paul Jones, bass guitar, keyboards and mandolin, and John Bonham, drums and percussion. So then we move on to disc 2, and then you get the sort of promo footage of the Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin 3, which is very cool. Then you get some shots or some excerpts from Madison Square Garden, The Song Remains the Same concert. Black Dog, Misty Mountain Hop, Since I've Been Loving You, and The Ocean, which I think we'll put as extras on that Song Remains the Same. Then we move to 1975, Earl's Court. This is a great concert as well. A lot of acoustic work on here, all three of them playing acoustic. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, and John Paul Jones are all acoustics on the front of the audience, on the front of the stage. So you got Going to California, That's the Way, Bron You Are, Stomp, In My Time of Dying, which is an amazing track, always one of my favorites. Trampled Underfoot, and the obligatory Stairway to Heaven. Then we move much further on to what would be their final big concert. In 1979, the Nebworth Festival. And they hadn't actually played together for quite some time before this festival. I think 77 was when they had their last big tour of the States. So here they are in 79 in the UK. They start off with rock and roll, as per usual. Nobody's Fault But Mine, one of my favorite Zeppelin tracks from my favorite Zeppelin album, Presence. Great to see that on here. Sick Again, Achilles' Last Stand. In the Evening, which was from In Through the Outdoor, their final studio album. Kashmir, great track, long, epic. One of the best epic rock tracks ever. Whole Lot of Love ends off the concert. Then there's a few extras. New York Press Conference, Down Under on Australia. The Old Grey Whistle Test, which was that great English music show which went on for many years. You can see them featured there, and a couple of promos. Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound, TTS. The production on this is really, really good, considering some of the footage is pretty old. And they cleaned it up, and the sound is amazing. And for anybody that wants to jump into Led Zeppelin and see some footage of this great band, this is the one I would go for. Song Remains the Same has its place, but this just gives you an overall picture of from the start 1970 all the way to 79. The total duration of this is 5 hours and 20 minutes. So they don't shortchange you. There's quite a bit of footage on here. One of the greatest rock bands ever, and I doubt if we'll ever see another band like Zeppelin. Probably my favorite band. So there we go. Another 2 DVDs to check out. I urge everybody, if you're into classic rock, the glory years of the 70s, where nobody could touch this band. They just steamrolled everything in their path. These 2 are the ones to check out. So next time I'm going to have a look at a band which is a super group. And thus far they've only released 1 DVD. And yeah, we'll have a look at that next time. Hope you guys all have a great week. Please like and subscribe down below. Any comments will be greatly appreciated. Have a good one. Cheers.